Smart, let's talk about some of your favorite cloud software stocks. We'll start off with Adobe. Stocks up around 14% so far this year. Last week, they beat the street on the top and bottom lines. They're partnering with Microsoft. It seems like all cylinders are firing for them.
Yeah, look, the business went through a multi-year transition where they went from a license model to subscription. They're largely through that, and now you're starting to see all the gains from that business. And this past quarter that they just reported is a perfect example of that, right? They're the dominant vendor in content creation tools with their Creative Cloud solution. You're seeing millions of people move over to this platform, and basically anybody who's working with photos or videos or web development, they're using Adobe. That's a great side of their business. They're also exposed to the digital disruption at large enterprises. You know, they have the best assets, in our opinion, that target digital marketing. So when you think about web analytics, when you think about when large enterprises like a GM or Ford re-architect their site, that's also a very high growth business for them. So we see years of good growth and profitability ramping for them. Best in class name, want to own it.
All right. What about Salesforce? Stock's down around 10% this year. If they buy Twitter, will that turn things around? Should they buy Twitter?
Should they buy Twitter? We don't think so, right? We don't think that it fits into their broader enterprise strategy, what their bread and butter has been. Right now, the $20 to $30 billion question for investors is, are they going to buy Twitter? You already saw a negative reaction in the stock when the rumor first broke that they were potentially a bidder. I think that sentiment has gotten even maybe perhaps a little more negative once it was found out that they actually approached Twitter about it. We think that the company is great on a standalone basis. Mark Benioff is truly a great leader, and they've built the dominant cloud software business, right? They're truly the gold standard. And for them to go down to pivot into an alternative area, it doesn't make that much sense to us.
All right, next is Workday. They've been stealing a whole lot of business from Oracle and SAP for their HR software. They're putting it up there in the cloud. But can they get the financials business as well?
So that's the big question for Workday, right? And they actually just had their user conference and an investor update earlier this week. We think that they're actually starting to see much more traction there. Household names like Panera Bread, Denny's, Netflix, they're now using Workday for financials. So you're seeing more and more success. We think ultimately as they develop the product and make it better, you're going to see that. And you're seeing white hot growth for the company. And you should start to see next year margins get better as well. And ultimately, we think it's the future when it comes to HR and financials, and Oracle and SAP are stuck in the past.
All right, and then finally, Wix.com. Stock's up over 90% this year. I thought it was essentially a make-your-own website company, but there's a whole lot more to it.
Yeah, the part of the business that people have missed is actually their SMB applications, right? So we talk a lot about how small businesses make America great, right? And if you think about that, they need software to help run their business. Whether you're an independent hotel or you're selling jewelry online, they need to build a website, but they also need to be able to sell it. So you have software to sell that. You need to be able to take reservations if you're an independent restaurant. So Wix caters to a lot of different end markets for SMBs, an underserved market historically. Hot growth, bottom line is coming right behind it.
All right, thanks a lot for coming on and talking about these cloud plays.
Great, thank you so much for the time.
And thank you for watching The Street.